A huge obstruction, its immobile heart. The watching opacity multiplied as he moved, its hostile mass of dead and staring eyes. The darkness glimmered like a dying torch.
I think it's capacity.
What?
Capacity.
Capacity.
Watching
Oh,
capacity.
okay. Oh, okay. Should we check once?
We can check it once, yeah. Always good to check it. I feel quite certain about it.
Yeah, it's opacity.
Things can be opaque, but the opacity,
Opacity.
yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what we see now is that Ashwapati is going through these planes of consciousness, and he's gotten into the godheads of the little life, and he's looking at them. We already heard that he didn't even know where he was.
Mm-hmm.
As he walks unguided through strange fields, tending he knows not where, nor with what hope, he trod a soil that failed beneath his feet, and journeyed in stone strength to a fugitive end. A fugitive end is an ephemeral end. We don't know, he doesn't know yet, but he's moving on. So we now see that we're going to begin with what? His trail behind was a vanishing line. A vanishing line of what? Of just glimmering points in a vague immensity, in this huge immensity, but it's a vague immensity. And there are just glimmering points, little dim, intermittent flickers or flashes of light. And so, therefore, a bodiless murmur. He's hearing this murmur that's traveling at his side in the wounded gloom, complaining against light. Now, what is this wounded gloom? Well, he tells us first that a huge obstruction is its immobile heart. It doesn't move at all. It's an immobile heart. It's fixed. And the watching opacity. Now, that is the condition of being in darkness. This watching darkness. This quality of a body that makes it impervious to the rays of light. So it's a watching opacity. It's something very real. But it multiplied as he moved its hostile mass of dead and staring eyes. So they're dead eyes, they're staring eyes, they're looking at him as he moved. And he tells us that the darkness glimmered again. You see, we have these words he uses all the time, glimmering points, and now glimmered. Just glimmering points is just 6 lines above. Glimmered. He wants us to feel that, and it's glimmering even like a dying torch. You know, when the torch is running out of fuel, you see that it glimmers a little and then it goes out. So let's read more now and see what's happening here.
Around him an extinguished phantom glow, peopled with shadowy and misleading shapes, the vague, inconscious, dark and measureless cave.
So we see now everything around him. It's a kind of phantom glow that's extinguished, something that's extinguished. Very often we can define phantom as an image that's only in the mind. It's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's illusory. It's like a ghost or an apparition. So around him, an extinguished phantom glow. Peopled. Peopled here means populated with. Sri Aurobindo often uses people because peopled can be one beat.
Mhm.
Populated is four beats. So peopled with shadowy and misleading shapes. Now what was peopling with shadowy and misleading shapes? The
That
vague, inconscious, dark, and measureless cave. Oh, wow. And then there's the last line in this canto.
his only sunlight was his spirit's flame.
The next canto, yes. And it is the kingdoms and godheads of the greater life. So it's canto 6 of 15 cantos
Mhm.
in this book. And he's going to find now what is in these kingdoms and godheads of the greater life.
Mhm. Canto 6. The kingdoms and godheads of the greater life. As one who between dim receding walls, towards the far gleam of a tunnel's mouth, hoping for light, walks now with freer pace, and feels approach a breath of wider air, so he escaped from that grey anarchy.
I would like you to pronounce and a little bit better with the D.
Mhm.
Reading is so. As someone who's not only these dim walls, but they're receding, closing in on him.
Mhm.
But he sees towards the far gleam of a tunnel's mouth, hoping for light, walks now with freer pace. Yeah, he's escaping that, and feels approach a breath of wider air. So he escaped from that gray anarchy. Anarchy here is lawlessness, confusion, chaos, disorder. But he's not going to find very much. So let's see what he finds.
Into an ineffectual world he came, a purposeless region of arrested birth, where being from non-being fled, and dared to live, but had no strength long to abide.
So he comes into this ineffectual world. Now, an ineffectual world is a powerless world, an impotent world, a feeble world. And it's not only that, but it's a purposeless region of arrested birth. Now, the word arrested here means stopped or slowed down. It's not like someone being arrested.
Yeah.
So it's a purposeless region of arrested birth. Birth that is, its course is checked, it's stopped. Where being from non being fled and dared to live, but had no strength long to abide. So very clear, we don't have to go into that, except knowing that there is being there, and it is fleeing from non being,
Mhm.
and it's even daring to live, but doesn't.
But it's interesting, this reminds me of my experience during COVID, during the 2 weeks. Like this line, far gleam of a tunnel's mouth, hoping for light. I had a similar dream experience of that during that time. And then I was sharing this with one of my colleague who was taken to nursing home and all, Jipmer and everything. He also felt as if he was going to die. And even I was once calling to Shraddhalus, like, I think I'm going to die. It's not going too well. And it was what an experience that was. Like, never in my life I want to go through that again. But that once you come out of it, you feel wider, as if you have, come out of a very difficult life experience and now you value life and cherish all aspects of it with a deeper understanding.
After 12 surgeries, I understand.
Wow.
Especially
Above, especially?
the triple bypass.
Oh, yes, that must have been some experience for you. Above there gleamed a pondering brow of sky, tormented, crossed by wings of doubtful haze, adventuring with the voice of roaming winds, and crying for a direction in the void, like blind souls looking for the selves they lost, and wandering through unfamiliar worlds. Wings of vague questioning met the query of space.
But first line that you read, it's
Mhm.
it's above there gleamed
Ah, not above there.
above
Right.
there gleamed a pondering brow of sky.
Mhm.
Pondering is like deeply or
Deep in
seriously
thought.
thought, tormented, something that causes great pain, mental anguish,
Mhm.
crossed by wings of doubtful haze, adventuring with the voice of roaming winds, and crying for a direction in the void, like blind souls looking for the selves they lost, and wandering unfamiliar worlds. Wings of vague questioning met the query of space. So you see, we have here just 5 lines above, wings of doubtful haze, and
Mhm.
then wings of vague questioning.
Mhm.
Sri Aurobindo wants to get that feeling through us. And we even have the roaming winds,
Mhm.
looking for a direction in the void. See,
Yeah.
looking and even looking for the selves they lost.
Mhm.
Things. It's, so he's seeing that above there's this pondering, deeply thoughtful brow, just a brow of sky he sees. And it's tormented, no doubt. And it's crossed by wings of doubtful haze, adventuring with a voice of roaming winds. So now we have crossed, we have roaming, we have crying, we have wandering. Amazing. All these things in 6 lines. Okay.
What does the line, the query of space? I mean, the,
Questioning,
the
questioning.
questioning, right? The questioning, right?
It's the question of the inquiry of space,
The query, yes.
questioning of space. But we're seeing now that, he is adventuring, and but also these beings are adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
Beings that uh, in that region of arrested birth, that ineffectual world, they fled from non-being and they wanted to live, but they didn't have strength to abide very long. And now he's giving us a vision of that area with the pondering brow of sky, the wings of doubtful haze, all of these things. And and these beings are like blind souls that are looking for the selves they lost. They're crying for direction in the void. They're wandering through unfamiliar worlds. Semicolon. Wings of vague questioning met the query of space. And we have enough time to go on a little bit more.
After denial dawned a dubious hope, a hope of self and form and leave to live, and the birth of that which never yet could be, and joy of the mind's hazard, the heart's choice, grace of the unknown, and hands of sudden surprise, and a touch of sure delight in unsure things. To a strange, uncertain tract his journey came, where consciousness played with unconscious self, and birth was an attempt or episode.
Okay. Look at the alliteration here in this first line. Denial dawned dubious.
Mhm.
So beautiful. Dubious. Dubious is ambiguous, causing doubt,
Yeah,
vague.
yeah, unsure, not steady.
But actually, you see, it's after denial, then this dubious hope dawned. And it is a hope of self and form and leave. Leave here is, I would say, it is. I have many, many definitions, but I don't feel that they're correct. I think it's sort of permission.
Hmm?
Permission.
Permission.
A hope of self and form and permission to live.
Hmm.
And the birth of that which never yet could be. And joy. You see, and.
Here I have in my notes, leave here is to allow, like to permit to live. No, I mean, I think I have attended so many of your explorations in Savitri with Alok, so I must have jotted down things here and there.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Now, we have to complete this so that you can read it all.
Hmm.
So, after denial, this dubious hope dawns. It's a dubious hope, it's not a very powerful hope, but it is a hope of self and form and permission to live, and the birth of that which never yet could be, and joy of the mind's hazard, the heart's choice. Wow. Mind's hazard, the danger of the mind, the heart's choice, the grace of the unknown, and hands of sudden surprise, and a touch of sure delight in unsure things. How beautiful. Colon. It's not finished yet. There's no full stop yet. He's gone through almost 9 lines without this full stop. Then Ashwapati comes to a strange, uncertain tract. And in that tract, he sees that consciousness played with unconscious self. And birth was an attempt or effort. So, shall you read from the beginning? We've got 2 pages. We've got to go to the end of one canto.
But should I just start from Canto 6, where very few lines are there in the previous one?
Should finish it out because
Okay.
I could say end of some canto.
Mm-hmm.
We began with a huge obstruction.
A huge obstruction its immobile heart. The watching opacity multiplied as he moved, its hostile mass of dead and staring eyes. The darkness glimmered like a dying torch. Around him an extinguished phantom glow, peopled with shadowy and misleading shapes. The vague inconscience dark and measureless cave. His only sunlight was his spirit's flame. End of Canto 5. Canto 6. the kingdoms and godheads of the greater life, as one who between dim receding walls towards the far gleam of a again, as one who between dim receding walls towards the far gleam of a tunnel's mouth, hoping for light, walks now with freer pace, and feels approach a breath of wider air. So he escaped from that grey anarchy. Into an ineffectual world he came, a purposeless region of arrested birth, where being from non-being fled, and dared to live but had no strength long to abide. Above, there gleamed a pondering brow of sky, tormented, crossed by wings of doubtful haze, adventuring with the voice of roaming winds, and crying for a direction in the void, like blind souls looking for the selves they lost, and wandering through unfamiliar worlds. Wings of vague questioning met the query of space. After denial dawned a dubious hope, a hope of self and form and leave to live, and the birth of that which never yet could be, and joy of the mind's hazard, the heart's choice, grace of the unknown, and hands of sudden surprise, and a touch of sure delight in unsure things. To a strange,
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
to a strange, uncertain tract his journey came, where consciousness played with unconscious self, and birth was an attempt or episode.
Okay, I just had one thing. I got Sanjan on the line already. I just want to get, uh, um, I want to get tormented. Tormented.
Tormented.
Yeah, I think you said tormented.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think it's tormented.
Tormented. Okay.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So,
Narad, just a second.
yeah, I have to get to my next student.
We have 5 minutes.
No, it's 5:31.
Okay, just a second.
There's calling. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Okay. Bye.